Hello everyone, I'm finally here with the second part of my episode 6 breakdown. In this video, I'll talk about everything that happened beyond the wall and with Dany. I'll also answer 7 most talked about questions or rather concerns about episode 6 soon. Make sure to subscribe this channel and also click on the bell next to it to activate notifications for this channel. So, let's take a look at what happened beyond the wall. We got to see these characters come together and have some very interesting conversations with each other. Tormund agreed with Arya when he said that Gendry is not so smart. Jorah and Thoros talked about Balon Greyjoy's rebellion. Jon and Jorah talked about Ned and Lord Commander Mormont. Which one was your favorite conversation? Mine was the Hound and Tormund's conversation about Brienne the Beauty. I really want to see them together. I almost thought for a second that Tormund would die and they will never get the chance to be together. But I guess the Hound is a Bormont or maybe Trian shipper too. He saved Tormund's life. I think it was really stupid of them to not bring any torch with them. I get that fire would have attracted attention, but they could have kept some unlit torches with them just in case they were surrounded by the whites. That's how Jeor Mormont was able to lead the survivors from the Fist to Craster's Keep. 7 important characters have gone to such a dangerous place, and nobody except Thoros and a few side characters have died. Do you know what it means? It means that they are trying to lull us into a sense of security, which means a lot of main characters are going to die in season 8. Anyways, the first attack came in the form of a white polar bear. At first I thought, are there 2 polar bears? It looked like one was chasing from behind and the second came from the right hand side. But it looks like it was the same bear. I'm glad they included the things that were mentioned in the books during the attack on the Fist. And did you notice how it took a bear to kill a white bear? Ser Jorah Mormont was the one who finally killed the bear. When the Magnificent 7, or rather 6, were waiting on that rock, the Hound thought the best way to pass the time will be by trying to improve his aim. He just had to throw the rocks at the whites. If he hadn't done that, the whites wouldn't have realized that the lake is frozen again, and that they can cross it too. Dany could have just come and saved them all without any bloodshed. Just kidding. By the way, did you notice that the white Sandor hit kept coming after him like it was personal? Or how the whites were trying to help the captured white? It showed intelligence. I have already explained in my Bran's journey video a few months ago about how the whites have shown intelligence before. I have also said in my season 6 videos last year that I think Bran can walk into a white. I'll leave the links in the description below. Go check it out and let me know what you think about it. Anyways, this episode only proved my point. It proved that the whites have some level of consciousness or some free will left in them. Maybe not like the fire whites, but still, I think a little bit remains in the ice whites too. And if there is something left in them, it means there is something still left for Bran to seize and take control. So even if Viserion becoming a white might have turned the tides in the Night King's favor for now, if Bran really can walk into a white, it would turn the tides back again. As I have said in my Who is the Prince That Was Promised and Azor Ahai video, I still think that the 3 heads of the dragons, aka the 3 riders, are Jon, Dany and Bran. Only Bran will be walking into a white dragon. Remember how I said in my episode 5 review that the 7 were standing on the same rock Bran saw the Night King standing on in his vision? I said it was really weird that the Night King saw Bran spying on him but still didn't move, or about how it was the same place where the Night King lured and trapped the 7. I know I'm calling them the 7 on purpose. I just liked it more than the Magnificent 7 or the Fellowship or the Dirty Dozen. It has a more Westerosi feel to it. Anyways, I saw this picture going around on Facebook. It explains a lot. The mountain the Hound saw in his vision looked exactly like the mountain we saw in the scene where Leaf turned the Night King. Remember how I said in my season 6 reviews that the place where the children turned him became the lands of always winter? So the place where the whites ambushed the seven was just on the other side of it. During all this time when the characters are going from one side of Westeros to the other, the Night King only crossed a mountain. Do you know what it means? I would like to give a shout out to Shauns theory here. He said, I'm completely convinced that the Night King has Greenseer like capabilities. He knew when to arrive at the Feast of the First Men, he knew when to arrive at Hardhome, and he knew to bring an ice javelin to a battle. Before that, he only used that sword of his or nothing at all. In fact, his whole crew had ice javelins. It's too coincidental. That is a brilliant theory, Sean. It would explain a lot of questions, like why the Night King has stayed in the north for 6 years while the other characters are moving around so quickly. It would mean that he knew what he needed to break the wall and has been waiting all along in the lands of always winter. He had only left it when he was going to face Jon or to go to the cave where Bran was hiding. The Night King knew that even if he had reached the wall, he couldn't have done anything without having the means to break it down. You might ask how the Night King can be a Greenseer? For that, you need to check out my Stark Blood theory. I explain exactly which kind of blood or the magic in blood you will need to have Greenseer abilities or any kind of power. The Night King had the first man's blood in him, but as I said in my Night King's Magic Explained video, he also had the children's power in him. He could definitely have gained the Seer or Greenseer abilities. So the Night King waited all this time, then he pretended to start marching to make Bran think that they are coming, while he only crossed the mountain and reached the place where he can set up an ambush in place. And he can also give Jon and his people enough time to wait so that Dany will arrive with the dragons. He didn't attack Jon and his people because he knew that Dany will come with the dragons so that he could get himself a white dragon, the thing that will help him break the wall. As for why the Night King only left the lands of always winter when Jon or Bran was there, I think it's because they are the three heads of the dragon. I think Rhaegar was talking about Jon and not Aegon when he said, he is the prince that was promised. His is the Song of Ice and Fire. The Song of Ice and Fire does refer to Jon, not only because he was the son of Rhaegar and Lyanna, aka the dragon and the wolf, but also because he is helped by both Roller and the old gods. Roller brought him back and Benjen saved his life. We might even get to see a Rhaegar and Lyanna scene in the season finale. At least, I hope they will show Rhaegar to us. That's why I still think that Jon, Dany and Bran are the three heads of the dragon. Dany rides Drogon, Jon will ride Rhaegal, and Bran will ride the white dragon Viserion. That's why I think that Bran is the third rider, and that's probably the reason why the Night King attacked the cave. Or maybe there will only be Jon and Dany. In Dany's vision in the books, when Rhaegar looks at Dany, he says, there must be one more. Why did Rhaegar say that there must be one more? Shouldn't he say there must be two more? George R. R. Martin had told Alan Taylor back in season 1 that this series is about Jon and Dany. So it's possible they are the only ones who are important. What do you think? We also learned a new thing in this episode. It looks like the White Walkers are like the vampires from the Vampire Diaries. If you kill the White Walker who has turned the whites, all the whites turned by him will die too. I already explained why this happened and how in my Night King's Magic Explained video. Beric also said that killing the Night King will solve everything. All the whites will automatically die. I remember discussing this very thing a few months ago, although I don't remember if I discussed it in the video or in the comments. Anyways, in my episode 6 trailer review, I said the pattern suggests that there will be an important death in this episode. Sorry Thoros, but I think that death was Viserion, not you. And did you notice how mad Jon was when the Night King had killed Viserion? Do you think he was mad because he loved Dany, or was it his Targaryen blood that made him so mad? As for Daenerys, back in Dragonstone, it seems like Dany still has doubts about Tyrion in her mind. Every time she gets mad at him, it comes out of her mouth that he's a Lannister and they lost Dawn because of him. And she has stopped listening to him now. That's why she went to save Jon, even when Tyrion had suggested the opposite of that. And did you notice how the dragons smiled when Dany arrived? They recognized that their mother had come and they were happy to see her. It was so sweet. By the way, when you saw Dany in that white dress, did you also think she looks like Elsa in this? And I loved Jon and Dany scene in this episode. Jon hadn't been with anyone since Ygritte, and even though Dany had been with Dario, she didn't really love him. Dany was really concerned about Jon when he arrived, and she saw the stab wounds on him. Remember how I had said before that I would be really pissed if they showed that Jon's wounds have healed? It turns out his wounds haven't healed, and I'm really happy for that because back in season 6, it did look like the wound on his forehead has healed, and it was really annoying. By the way, I loved how they put two Targaryen sails in a boat with two Targaryens in it. Did you notice how they have repeated again and again in this season that Dany can't have children? I think they want to surprise us if or when Dany does become pregnant with Jon's baby. I think this will happen in season 8. What do you think? Anyways, it's time for the comment shout out now. Today's comment shout out goes to Scribner, who asked, I have a question. Jon sent the wildlings to Eastwatch, but weren't there already members of the Night's Watch there? And what would they think about a bunch of random wildlings showing up? There were 19 castles built on the wall. Out of the 19, only 3 castles are manned now. Shadow Tower, Castle Black, and Eastwatch by the Sea. Back in season 5, Stannis had suggested Jon to send Alistair and Thorne to Eastwatch, but instead, Jon had decided to keep him close. Right now, Dolorous Ed is the acting Lord Commander. They all know about the Army of the Dead and that their previous Lord Commander had allowed the wildlings south of the wall. The Starks have always helped the Night's Watch man the castles for centuries. So I agree with Abby here. He could have sent a raven to Ed, or he could have just sent Tormund with a letter. The men at Eastwatch will be happy to have more help when they will learn that the Night King and the Whites are marching towards the wall. So, what do you think of these theories? Don't forget to tell us in the comments. If you like this video, please click on the like button below, share the video and subscribe to my channel. Have a great day. Bye bye. See you in my next video.